Hey there, I'm John.
And I'm Josh.
And we are going to review Week 12 of the 2021 college football season. So we are down near the end of the season right now. Some big games being played. And these games have a lot of meaning.
Right. I mean, rivalry weekend right around the corner.
It's coming upon us.
Yeah.
That's right. Let's start off with Michigan State. The question was, could they show up against Ohio State? Michigan State was ranked number 7 going into that. Ohio State number 4.
There are definitely a lot of expectations on Michigan State and Walker, and I think people thought they were going to at least compete in this game.
Yeah.
I think the score was like 42-0 or something at the end of the first
That's
half,
right?
Yeah. It was a ridiculous beatdown. I mean, probably one of the worst beatdowns I've ever seen in a top 10 matchup.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. And of course, Stroud for Ohio State, he had 430 yards, 6 touchdowns. Man, I mean, just dominant performance, dominated Michigan State in every possible way. I agree. Offensively and defensively.
And arguably the second best looking team in the country right now.
Yeah.
So,
most likely, they'll leapfrog Alabama.
I would
take
think so too.
Take the number 2 spot.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised if they didn't. Speaking of Alabama, number 21 Arkansas played at Alabama. Number 2 Alabama.
A very close game.
It was.
Yeah.
And as I said before, that's not what Alabama needed at all. They did not need a tight game in any way. Probably tight mainly because of just softness on Alabama's defense.
Definitely not the offense's problem.
No. Bryce Young putting up
559 yards and 5 touchdowns, just broke the single season passing record for an Alabama game. 560 passing yards.
It's a lot.
Right now, you could probably argue Stroud or Young are going to win the Heisman, right? Both of them are having some pretty spectacular seasons. So I think next couple games are really going to matter for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 3, Oregon was facing number 23, Utah. Again, like you said, when we talked about this game, Utah was favored.
Yeah,
right.
I thought it was dumb that they were favored.
But they weren't favored by. They were favored by a little bit. My goodness, Utah dominated.
I'm just confused. Like, the number 7 team and the number 3 team in the country just lost by more than 30 points each. It just doesn't make sense to me. 38-7. Utah dismantled Oregon in a humiliating fashion. Honestly, there was not much positive to say about this game in terms of Oregon, right?
Yeah, not at all.
Utah, good for you.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Absolutely. SMU was facing number 5 Cincinnati, and the question, of course, with this one was, SMU's had a fairly decent season. Could they be the ones that are going to trip up Cincinnati? The answer would be
no. And we didn't. And after seeing Houston kind of dismantle SMU earlier on in the season,
true,
we did have our expectations set a lot lower. So 48-14 is not that surprising to me.
Yeah.
Cincinnati doing in this game what they needed to do in most of their games this season. Just a very dominant performance. 27-0 at half. I was very impressed with the way that they played the football game.
Yeah, no, I was too.
Yeah.
I was too. They did a great job. Number 10, Wake Forest was at Clemson. And, we talked about the ACC. We talked about Wake Forest being, they've been leading it. They've been the dominant one.
I mean, they're making it to the ACC championship no matter what.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
Which is crazy because...
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Pittsburgh has made it no matter what.
That's correct.
Right, because Clemson now has a chance to make it to the ACC
Clemson sure does.
championship.
Clemson won this one 48-27. So another beatdown of a ranked team. This time by Clemson. Clemson's sort of coming on a little bit better
kind
at
of
the
on
end
the
of
up
this
and
season.
up, which is painful to say.
Not surprising with Dabo Swinney.
You knew he was going to recover eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, as much fun as it was to be like, oh, Clemson kind of sucks now. They've only lost 3 games, and they're all very early on in the season.
Yep.
So,
and they seem to be rolling back at this point. Again, I don't feel like they've got all the tools of a great team.
If things go the way that Clemson wants, I think they'd probably win against Pittsburgh right now. So we'll see.
They really could.
Yeah.
Number 11, Baylor was at Kansas State. And this one, we thought Kansas State might be able to put up a fight, and they did decent.
Yeah, 20-10. This is what I expected.
Yeah.
Baylor did what they needed to do to survive this game.
Yep.
And Kansas State tried their best to put up a fight. Yeah,
yes,
good for them.
Absolutely. And we did mention last week UAB was going to be at UTSA and play the Roadrunners.
Man.
And UAB, wow. They took it to them. They made this a close game.
Yeah, UTSA took the lead so they were down by 3.
Yeah.
No, 4.
4. That's right.
They were down by
'cause they got a
4
touchdown.
with 7 seconds left. Threw a touchdown into the end zone with 0 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
The UAB defender literally got his hand. Honestly, probably one of the best games of the day.
Yeah.
UAB defender got his hands on the ball in the end zone.
Just a bit more of a
tipped it.
swat.
Mm-hmm.
A bit more of a swat. You know, if he didn't touch it at all, I think it still would have gone to the receiver. But it was, if he had swatted it, UAB would have won that game.
All in all, I love seeing UAB compete here.
Yeah.
And UTSA still having their dream season. So.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Speaking of dream season, Louisiana. Last time I think I said they had 3 losses. They didn't. They were 9-1 when I talked about them last week, and so they were facing Liberty. They went in there. They're now 10-1 because they destroyed Liberty.
Funny? You know what's really funny about this is looking back. Louisiana's probably like, how did we not beat Texas?
Oh,
because everybody has, right?
Yeah,
their
absolutely.
only loss is to Texas, and man, like since that loss, Louisiana's looked good. Man.
They have.
They played some solid football.
Yeah.
Liberty, they're a different story. Malik and just that the hype
happened?
that was going into their season.
Yeah.
And maybe it was unrealistic hype. Maybe it was because last year they had a pretty decent season.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They've just been a disappointment to me. So 42-14.
But Liberty lost. They lost their bowl game to. Do you remember who it was?
I do not.
Might have been Houston. I can't remember either. But yeah, it's sort of like ever since then they've sort of been done. But,
oh well.
Yeah. Virginia Tech. They were at Miami, and we mentioned this because they're both 5-5, and I think they're, at least for Virginia Tech, their next game, I think they could still be in a bowl game.
Right, if
in
they
contention.
win.
If
Remember,
they have
Virginia
to win
Tech
it.
fired their head coach, Fuente.
They did. That's
Miami
why we wanted to bring
probably
it
would
up.
have fired their head coach if they
Yep.
lost this one. I
Yeah.
still think they will at the end of the season.
Still fairly
Either
close
way,
game.
38-26.
Yeah.
It was a close game.
Florida Gators were at Missouri, and this one, the battle of the bottom of the SEC, actually went to overtime.
Yeah. Worth mentioning because Dan Mullen got fired.
Yeah, he did.
Yep. Honestly, anybody who Missouri beats is probably on the hot seat. But now that Dan Mullen's out, I believe defensive coordinator might be stepping up to be head coach or interim head coach until they find somebody. Either way, Florida has a lot of very deep pockets, if you will. So it's not going to take too long for them to find a head coach.
Yeah, but the question is who. It really is because
here's the
sort of
thing.
shakes things up whenever you start yanking from other teams.
Yeah,
so.
we talked about this some. It's even a dream to get fired from Florida. You're still going to get paid, right?
Oh, yeah.
No matter what. The second you sign that contract, you're set, right?
Yeah.
So, whoever Florida tries to get from whatever group of 5 team is doing amazing, maybe Cincinnati, who honestly, I haven't thought too much into it.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's head coach, Louisiana's head coach, App State's head coach. You've got UTSA's head coach right now who's dominating.
Yeah.
I'm sure Florida's going to try to get a bigger name coach.
Probably so.
But still.
They might even go after somebody in the SEC, like
maybe
a Lane Kiffin or somebody like that. But
someone like that, or an offensive coordinator or somebody.
Yeah.
Alabama's offensive coordinator is looking pretty good right now, so you never know.
You don't.
Yeah.
Speaking of never knowing, Auburn was at South Carolina playing the Gamecocks, and
this is the Brian Harsin I know and love. Here we go. See, I've been so confused
Auburn
all
was
season.
doing so well. They were doing so well.
Yeah, I've been so
game.
confused all season because I'm like, since when did Brian Harsin become a good head coach? I was like, I just didn't get it. Like, how can you be at Boise for as long as you were and be so just average? And then go to Auburn and all of a sudden do great. I'm telling you, this is who I knew and who I loved in Brian Harsin. Just the mediocrity.
Love this part of it.
I know. Just the mediocrity that is his coaching skills. Yeah. And he just can't. I'll give him the one benefit of the doubt.
No Bo Nix. Yeah.
Who has his ups and downs, but is clearly a leader for this Auburn team.
Yeah.
But man, South Carolina, come on.
That's bad.
I was excited.
Yeah,
I thought we were finally going to have a good Iron Bowl.
Granted, for South Carolina, that's great for Beamer.
It is.
It does look good for him, and maybe there's some more fight in them than we thought. I don't know, but
yeah, South Carolina's sticking with Beamer for at least a little bit, if I had to guess.
Probably so. Yeah. So your upsets, how'd those turn out?
It was a tough week, but I don't regret either of my choices.
Yeah.
Let me say this to start with: Nebraska has to be the best 3-win team in the country. And I don't think it's even close.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I think you could put Nebraska against most non-top 25 teams in the country, and they're probably going to win. I'm just blown away. So they played number 15 Wisconsin. Wisconsin, probably one of the best 3-loss teams in the country.
True.
And they just had some dominant performances. 35-28. Wisconsin scrapes by with a 7-point win. Man, I'm so sorry, Nebraska. You try so hard and
still come up short.
Yeah, it feels bad.
That's tough.
My second pick was Iowa State at number 13, Oklahoma. I don't regret this one either, man. I've watched Oklahoma play. I watched them get dismantled by Baylor.
Yeah.
I mean, this team just has a lot of flaws.
It's only a 7-point ball game.
Yeah, 28-21. Oklahoma did scrape by.
Yeah.
Iowa State can be a ranked team killer sometimes. You never know with them. So, honestly, good win for Oklahoma.
Yeah, it was. Okay, that's it for Week 12. Join us when we talk about Rivalry Week.